are finally at the end of all the coverage right now that is available from CinemaCon. And of course, the last up is, of course, the Paramount panel that happened. So, the future films that were mentioned but didn't really get a whole lot of time were Children of Blood and Bone, Heart of the Beast, an untitled Trey Parker, Matt Stone, and Kendrick Lamar musical, which that in of itself sounds like if you had like too many pot brownies and you and your friends were like, what if the creators of South Park and Kendrick Lamar made a musical? That kind of scenario. Um, Sonic 4, Scream 7, Legend of Aang Last Airbender, and TMNT Mutant Mayhem 2. Those were all brought up as feature films for Paramount, but didn't really delve into much. So, of course, the big one to kick us off, Mission Impossible The Final Reckoning. And in the lead up to Mission Impossible 8, I will be doing a rewatch review series where I will review all of the previous Mission Impossible films before the final reckoning is upon us. Um, that'll probably be maybe 2 uploads for that, probably this weekend. Um, because I've worked it out, I'll be able to upload all 7 of them right before Mission 8 comes out if I do 2 on the first weekend and then 1 every weekend after. So, hopefully, hopefully, I will be able to get that done. I will get it done. I should say that. Tom Cruise himself was there at CinemaCon to share. This was nice of him to share a nice moment of silence for his Top Gun co-star Val Kilmer, and he also looked back on his partnership with his director that he has made the past 4 Mission Impossible films with, Christopher McQuarrie, who is CinemaCon's Director of the Year. They premiered an exclusive trailer for the movie, which opens on the much anticipated set piece of Ethan Hunt hanging from a yellow plane in the middle of a dogfight. The trailer is a big love letter to the Mission Impossible franchise, especially as Ethan plugs himself into a computer and we're shown a close up of his pupils becoming digitized, and we are given glimpses into past set pieces from previous films. From there on, the footage played very similarly to the previous trailers for Final Reckoning. Fitting for the last installment of the franchise, the film seems to be replaying all the hits. So, yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that. The plane stunt, I'm not as worried about because, was it, um, Ghost? Not, it was either Ghost Protocol or, no, it was Rogue Nation, where, Tom Cruise hung off the side of a plane taken off. So I'm not overly concerned about the biplane one. I'm more concerned about all the underwater stuff that I've seen him do from that first trailer. Like, that scares me a hell of a lot more than, potentially, falling off of a biplane. Because maybe, well, I shouldn't say, if you landed in water, it would almost be like landing in concrete. So either way is bad, but I don't want to drown in water. I'd rather fall to my death than drown in water before that. But yeah, Mission 8 looks like it's going to be a really, really big send off for this franchise um, until Hollywood decides to reboot it again. But I'm very much looking forward to it. It comes out, May 23rd. I thought it was coming out May 16th. No, but no, May 23rd. Memorial Day week. Oh god, that and Lilo and Stitch are gonna fight each other. Holy moly. Alright. Um Smurfs movie in July. Now, I've been saying that July is going to be a big month for movies. There's also this in July as well. Um, Big cast though: Rihanna, James Corden, Nick Offerman, J.P. Carliak, Dan Levy, Amy Sedaris, Natasha Lyonne, Sandra Oh, Octavia Spencer, Nick Kroll, Hannah Waddingham, Alex Winter, Maya Erskine, Billy Lord, Jolo Mariduena, Kurt Russell, John Goodman, like future greats and also greats right now. Um, Trailer opens up with longtime Smurf nemesis Gargamel trying to convene with other cohorts, only for his volume to be muted. The Smurfs are partying in Smurf Village to some new Rihanna songs, with Rihanna's Smurfette taking the stage in the footage. Suddenly, a new sort of flower rises from the ground, sucking the Smurfs into the real world. The trailer then proceeds to show the Smurfs interacting with live action footage, although there are no non extra prominent human characters. The plot seems to involve the Smurfs going up against Gargamel and his brother. The animation looks something like the recent Peanuts animated film, with humor that is more or less based around pop culture references. The film will likely appeal to children more than anything, as it looks very similar to the previous released films, albeit with a new art style. So I remember watching those first two Smurfs films, Smurfs one and then Smurfs two, with like the uh, decolored Smurfs that Gargamel had, and also with Neil Patrick Harris being there. That first one I didn't think was all that bad. Granted, I was a kid when I watched those movies, so I was the perfect age range for it. And Smurfs 2, again, I didn't think it was that bad, but also, again, I was a kid when I saw that, so it was like, you know, kind of, whatever to me. So, I don't know if I'll go see this. I might just to continue the joke. Um, and that, July's a big month for movies, and then there's this. So, but I know that um, black nerd comedy, Andre, he's going to go see this. Whether he likes it or not, that's a completely different thing. Um, the SpongeBob movie, The Search for SquarePants. Of course, Tom Kenny, Clancy Brown, Roger Bumpus, Bill Fagerbach, Karen Lawrence, Mr. Lawrence, and Mark Hamill in the cast. Um, the footage opens up on a classic SpongeBob tradition. A live-action pirate, which Patchy, addresses the audience to tell them about a nautical tale of the Flying Dutchman. Oh, Mark Hamill is voicing the Flying Dutchman. That ought to be fun. Crossing paths with an innocent soul, SpongeBob. Hilariously, SpongeBob wants to turn over a new leaf and become a big man. He blasts Snoop Dogg from his speakers and pumps his chest, lifting his plush weights. Mr. Krabs tells SpongeBob about his days on the sea, which motivates SpongeBob and Patrick to go on an adventure to follow in his footsteps and go on a sailing adventure. When SpongeBob and Patrick cross paths with the Flying Dutchman, he takes them to the underworld, where they must endure terrors beyond the sponge's imagination, including scary roller coasters. The Search for SquarePants boasts a mix of absurd gags and a vibrant mix of live action and 3D animation. So, very much in a similar vein to what they did for, what was the last? Sponge Out of Water, I think. Maybe not that 3D animated style, but maybe something similar to it. Um, I haven't watched SpongeBob in quite some time. Um, like everybody else, I think I fell off once, you know, uh, actually, I don't remember, because I think I might have fallen off once we had gotten cable, or maybe just once I got older and started watching more adult programming, or just started watching YouTube more than uh, uh, traditional television. But SpongeBob is still very much classic, even though, from what I've heard, like the newer seasons aren't really that good. But he is still very much a cartoon icon, and whether or not I go see this movie, maybe. But Mark Hamill as the Flying Dutchman, that's pretty cool. Moving on, Roof Man, Derek Cianfrance. Again, hopefully I'm pronouncing that last name right. Channing Tatum, Juno Temple, Uzo Aruba, Peter Dinklage, Kirsten Dunst, Ben Mendelsohn, Lakeith Stanfield, Molly Price, and Tony Revolori in the cast. Film follows the wild true story told from a liar, as indicated in the trailer, of Jeffrey Manchester, Channing Tatum, a thief who robbed nearly 60 McDonald's by entering through the roof. We open with one of Jeff's robberies, where he's extremely polite to the people he's robbing, charmingly offering the manager, played by Tony Revolori, his jacket as he puts him in the freezer of the restaurant. Moving on, the trailer shows Jeff as a loving family man with a special relationship with his daughter. But sadly, Jeff is soon busted at his daughter's birthday party and brought into jail. That's when the trailer gets really interesting. Jeff busts out of jail very quickly and then finds an unlikely space to hide: the attic of a Walmart. What should be a place for him to lay low turns into a new home as he gets romantically involved with a worker played by Kirsten Dunst and beefs with a manager played by Peter Dinklage, all while getting secret help from his friend played by Lakeith Stanfield. It seems like he has everything set, yet Jeff doesn't know if he can stay away from his daughter for this long. Roofman looks exciting, funny, and unexpected, a big shift from the likes of Cianfrance's Blue Valentine and The Place Beyond the Pines. More than anything, it looks like the perfect star vehicle for Tatum. Um, Very interesting stuff. I did not know that this was based off of real life. Dude robs 60 McDonald's. Like, why? Like, I know the food isn't really the best, but it's the food that we go to when we're like, we don't want to cook. It's like, you go to McDonald's, grab something. Like, why rob McDonald's? Like, there are better restaurants that you could rob. Like, come on. Um, but I just find the dynamic very interesting. He hides in the attic of a Walmart, hits on an employee, has beef with the manager, and yet is still getting help from his buddy. Like, that's crazy. I might just have to see that just off of curiosity. That sounds very interesting. Edgar Wright's new film, Running Man, based off of a Stephen King book. Glenn Powell, Lee Pace, Katie O'Brien, Josh Brolin, Coleman Domingo, William H. Macy, Michael Cera. There are some big names in this movie. Um, with exclusive footage that's as fresh as it can get, as they only wrapped shooting a few weeks ago. Whoa. We open on a dystopian future America and Glenn Powell as Ben Richards, a man who finds himself in the middle of a popular game show slash manhunt. Hosted by Bobby Thompson, the Running Man show sends its contestants all over the world as hired guns are sent to execute them. The footage is action-packed, revealing numerous set pieces from the film, including a struggle in the cockpit of a plane as it drops from the sky, a tease of an extended hallway long take as Ben runs away from assassins, and a game of hot potato with a grenade as he tries to escape through an elevator. In America, we don't put up with that bullshit, says Bobby with chaotic glee, while he's well dressed and in front of a blue and white distortion backdrop of the American flag. Powell called the film not just flavors of what moviegoers like, but instead a full meal, and the footage of The Running Man shows that it's full of spectacle. So, just off of the fact that the cast is stacked, it's Edgar Wright, and also it's Stephen King. Granted, King's work is hit or miss, but Stephen King is still like a really damn good author. So like, if all of the stars line up for this could be pretty good. Um, but yeah, that sounds like really, really awesome. Naked Gun. They showed the very first trailer to Akiva Schaffer's Naked Gun Legacy sequel, starring Liam Neeson, Pamela Anderson, and Paul Walter Hauser. Um, I actually watched this trailer. I'm not gonna play it right now, but I will describe what happens. There's a bank robbery that happens, and a little girl walks into the bank, and it is revealed to be Liam Neeson, who then kicks the crap out of the cops in hilarious fashion. And also, there's a little shrine to oh god, trying to remember the comedian who was in the original Naked Gun films. Oh my god, why am I blanking here? Jesus. Um. Leslie Nielsen. There it is. Jesus. There's a shrine to Leslie Nielsen. Nice little plaque in the police office. And I just love the fact that there was a black cop in front of an O.J. Simpson one. That was really good. Um, but yeah, that was it for all of the stuff that Paramount decided to talk about during their panel at CinemaCon. Um, that is it as terms of what is out right now. Like I said, I might be covering the Disney panel as soon as it gets done. It just depends on if I'm wanting to record and wanting to stay up and potentially be sleep deprived when I head into work. So it all depends on all those factors. But until I post that the panel reaction for Disney, y'all stay safe out there and y'all take it easy.